Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. We got a great show for you today. I got China Mac, rapper, entertainer, activist, and a former gang member who's really changed his life, and he's a really good guy. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. Before I get started, check us out on the YouTube, member programs, Patreon, Discord, all the stuff we got going, our action crew, all that kind of stuff, everybody. So just check it out. Let me get right to China Mac. China Mac, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, you know, China Mac, you intrigued me because you're 39, I think it is now. I think you're 39, am I right?
Right.
39 years old. You did 10 years, right? Didn't you do 10 years in the joint?
I did.
And, you know, you came out of, I hate to always say better man, a changed man maybe. You know, we all grow up a different way. We all grow up, I come from the streets in the Bronx and Brooklyn, and I went to the mob, so I was a Gambino associate and did my thing. And you grew up in the streets and got into the gangs. And then, but you changed it. How did you change it? How was your, how did you change it? Was it prison or was it just something growing older?
It was definitely prison. It was, I remember the day my thought process changed and how I viewed life, like my worldview kind of changed starting from that day. Is when I was in Sing Sing. I had just got up there, and my mother came to see me. It was probably like the first weekend I was there, so she came to see me, and I was fresh, and you know, she was crying. She was just like, "Don't let me die before I see you, you know, change your life. Like, you know, don't let me die, you know, while you're in prison, like, you know." And she was kind of pleading with me and like begging me, you know what I'm saying? Because I was still getting in a lot of trouble when I was in Rikers Island, and you know, it really it hurt my, like, it really hurt my heart. Like it really broke me down, you know, because I knew that, you know, whatever my mother was going through was an immediate result of my actions, you know what I'm saying? And when I went back into my cell after that visit, after I left the visiting floor, I went and got searched, walked up the stairs, walked through many, you know, all of the corridors and shit. And when I got in my cell, when that cell like closed, I was just like, you know, I started breaking down. I started crying, you know, because it was like, damn, my mother's like really begging me, you know, and this is what I'm doing to her. So I was in my cell just like, just going through it. And somebody knocked on my bars, right? I had a little curtain up. So, you know, he was knocking on my bars. I took the curtain down and I saw it was he was a porter, right? He was like, you know, the person working on the galleries. So he just came to my cell and he's like, yo, I seen you on the visiting floor. And he was like, yo, listen, I got 35 years in. I think it was something around one of them type of numbers, right? 30 something. And he was like, you know, I came in here when I was 17 years old. I'm probably gonna die in here, right? But I don't know your situation, but if you do have light at the end of the tunnel, you gotta choose what you wanna do right now. Right now is the most important decision you're gonna make, because you can either make this a prison, which where you're gonna, you know, you're gonna go home the same person you are, you came in here as, or you're gonna turn this as a university and come out as a person, as a man. You know what I mean? Somebody that's not gonna be, you know, somebody's gonna make your mother proud instead of making her cry.
Yeah, that's deep, and you know, I hate to say, I always believe it's a defining moment. I was in the cell when my buddy hung himself in the cell. We were in a hole, and he hung himself and couldn't do anything about it, and that really hurt. And I lay down on my bunk and I was crying. You know, I tell young people, I said, you want to see a bunch of badasses cry, don't say a fucking word, because we'll fucking cut your head off. You know, we're all have emotions, we're all real. You know, that shows me that people can change or stuff. How old were you when that happened?
I think I was like 19.
So you were 19 and you got sentenced, I think you got sentenced to 10 years, or was it more and then you got out in 10?
I was sentenced to 11 years and I got out in 10.
Got it. Okay, so you did your time. You were a gang member before that. Did that follow you to the joint? Because it usually does.
Yeah, I was a gang member, but I was a gang member like in Chinatown, and there wasn't really there wasn't a lot of Chinese gangs in there, and if there were, and there wasn't any like beef with anybody else, so I really wasn't in the gang once I got into prison.
No, no, I understand 100% because I don't know, in the biggest systems that I was in Max's, I was in the Feds, I was in Atlanta and Lewisburg and all the big joints, and they had obviously they had the Chinese gangs and the Italians and the Norteños, Sereños, Aztecas, MAs, gangster disciples, everything.
Yeah, but usually the Asian gangs would go into the Feds, right? And not a lot of them would go into like state prison. So in state prison, New York State Prison, it was there was probably like maybe 4 Asian people in the whole jail.
Wow, yeah. So you didn't have to deal with that, like, still being that young kid and gang and stuff. Obviously, you come from the streets, and that helps a lot. I tell people, coming from the Bronx and Brooklyn and being a street kid, what you did for your mom makes me always want to do better for my kids too. Like, I don't want them to follow in my footsteps. And I had a good reputation. I mean, I was a street guy, didn't rat and do all the stuff. And you know how it is today. I don't even have to tell you. I mean, as a guy that knows and you've passed it and you've done your stuff. What are you doing with your music? And I know, like you said, we're going to get into this now. You also did some good stuff. Like you said, you're doing a leadership or whatever course you're doing. You could talk about that. But how's your music going? And where you are, you're going to do some collaborations with some guys?
Yeah, so basically, I've come to a just a change, right? So I was just, I came out doing the music, but the way that I was doing it, I'm not backed by anybody. I'm just doing everything solely independent. A lot of times, and you know how that goes. Like, sometimes you'll have people helping, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're just gonna be the only one helping, only one doing it. So I've been doing that for a few years and independently. And early last month, I was just kind of just tired of, I realized that, shit, I'm not making no money off of music, right? Like, I'm spending more money making the music, making the videos, artwork. Like, the artists, as an artist, we're the last ones to get paid, right? So I'm spending more money and I'm in the red, right? And I'm just thinking about, I caught myself thinking about resorting to crime just so I can fund my career, right? And I'm just like, well, is it a career if I'm doing this? Like, do I want to throw rocks out of prison, to do my music? I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's, so I basically came out and said I was gonna quit music, right? And then from there, I took down all of my music off of Spotify and iTunes, because I just felt like, we were being used by the system. You know what I'm saying? And because I didn't have the tools to play the game within the system, I'm just gonna be chasing just something that I'll never catch, right? Because I'm competing with so many people that has, these corporations and money to back them, and I have a lot of I'm battling a lot of things. So I was just tired of this shit, and I just took all of my music down. Fuck the system, fuck that. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of me having to constantly figure out how to make money just so I can support my music career, and that my fans were enjoying my music and living life with their music, dealing with their personal pains and learning and all of that through my music, while I have to think about how I'm gonna pay for artwork, or pay for a campaign to like promote my music when I'm making no money off of the music. So I got frustrated. I took all my music down, and a friend of mine came on my live, Shooter 93, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you know, you don't have to quit music, but you can probably just change how you're selling your music." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, have you ever thought about selling your music directly to your fans? You've amassed a great deal of fans and followers, people that really like care about you. So have you ever thought about just selling it to them directly? Since you already took your music off of Spotify and iTunes, if you were to package it and sell it a direct download to them, you'll be surprised at how many people will buy it." So it really blew my mind. And after the live, I called him and he told me how much money he made in 2020 off of music, and it blew my mind, right? It blew my mind. And you never even heard of this guy. A lot of people never even heard of him, but he made more money than a lot of signed artists. I'm pretty sure like 75% of signed artists, he made more money than them, right? In 2020. So I was like, fuck it. I mean, let me try it. So I tried it, and in 2 weeks, I made more money in the whole 2020. I probably tripled what I made in 2020 off of music alone, off of streams, and off of, you know, and when I started selling my music directly, I probably tripled what I made in 2020 in 2 weeks. And so now I'm freshly off of that. I'm freshly, off of that, and I've been, working on that, just selling my music directly to my supporters and my fans. And then once I have enough money, if I decided that I had a song that I wanted to push, in a wider scale, right, that could do bigger, then I would have the funds to actually push the music. So that's where I'm at right now with my music.
Totally understand how, everybody wanted stuff. I'm an author. I'm a best-selling author with my book. And, at one point, you're struggling, and these people want a piece of you, and you're not making anything until, I was, one of the best moves I ever made, China, is I kept my book. A lot of people, friends of mine were with big companies, Simon & Schuster and Pelican and all this, and they were getting fucked. And they said, "Lad, I'm not making any money. My book's everywhere. I'm not making shit." And they said, "Don't do it if you can do it." And I remember when I was offered $50,000 when I needed it. I really needed it. And I turned it down. I don't know what it was. It was my street stuff, my gut. And I said, fuck it. And I turned it down. And it's the best move I ever made, because not only do I sell my books, I have my, I own the rights to it for a movie, for a TV show, and all the stuff that I'm being approached with. And what you did is just show me how smart and how I'll never disrespect you, how you've grown up, how you've gotten smarter in the business. It's not all about, oh man, all these guys, like you said, 75% of them, they're with somebody, they're there, and they're making shit. They're going to be fucking broken. They're broke already, and they're just fucking playing the game. And I get it. I appreciate what you've done. You really showed that you're a businessman as much as you are an artist, which, let me tell you, everybody don't get this, China, it's all about marketing. You market yourself, and if you can't market yourself, I don't give a fuck. Nobody else can market you better than yourself and know you better than yourself. Yes, you're right, they might have more money to put behind certain things and stuff, but when it's all said and done, they want their fucking piece and you get nothing. What you've done is found a way to make money, which everybody on my channel, just take my YouTube channel, we do very well. And even my fans say it, "Larry, on purpose I watch commercials for you because they know you make more money, and so they help you. The people know, they want to support you. All my fans on this channel, and it's great. And I'll give you a couple of ways you can do more when we hang up as well. But you're really a smart young guy, and I love to see this. It's making me smile inside so much, because I'm getting old, man. I'm an old fuck. I mean, I'm gonna be 60 years old this year, China. I mean, I feel young. I did a lot of time, and I was in and out for a while. I did 12 years straight, and 11. I got 4 12-year sentences. You know what that's about. And I beat a life sentence. I beat a gun charge. Otherwise, I'd never be here. So I feel a lot of love, and I'm blessed about that. But I also understand we got to make a living. We got to support our families, our kids, and do what we do, and love what you do. You know, obviously you are an entertainer. I mean, that's what you are. I watched the video. I was telling my son, and you were on the stoop. It was on a stoop. I think it was in Brooklyn, and some dude was like, mad and angry, and he wanted to fight people, and you were listening to his story, and then you were telling him some good advice. I said, man, this guy's got it, man. This guy's figured it out. He's figured out what it is. And now, even to hear more of your story, I really appreciate it, because I respect the hustle. I respect the struggle, because I'm there, did it, and done it. And now, obviously, it's blossoming, getting bigger, and now you have more avenues. I have more books coming. I have more programs going. I have more business opportunities and stuff like that. And you will, too. You're just starting. You know, the best thing I tell young guys is this. Listen, I got out of prison at 46. 46. I went away at 34. So I got out at 46 years old. The government took every fucking dime. Millions, houses, homes, horses, boats, everything. Nothing. Get out of prison, $67,000 in debt. You gotta figure it out. And I did. And I did that. And you're doing it at a lot younger age, which is smart, because you really matured. And I guess it's prison a little bit. You've talked to older cats, you sort of fuck ups, you sort of stuff and that like that. Is your mom around?
Yeah, she is.
How proud is she of you?
Super proud. I was with her yesterday. I saw her yesterday. She's super proud of me, and it feels good. It feels good to be able to, look at, my mother, and see that she's proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many times that I caused her so much pain and grief, and who would have knew that I would have changed it into this? You know what I mean? Because when I was going through what I was going through, so many people told my mother that I would never change, and that I'm a lost cause, and that, you should just move on. They was telling my mother that she should move on from her son. But she never did that. She never left my side. She would travel 8-10 hours to visit me. Like, there's nothing that she wouldn't do for her son. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good that, and while I was in prison, my mother went through two types of lung cancer, right? She went through, and she could have died in there while I was in prison. You know what I mean? And once while I was in prison, the initial bid, and the second time while I was on a parole violation, right? So, and she's still here. So, I look at that as a blessing, and it's really good to see my mom be able to look at me and be proud, right? She sees me on the news, she sees me here, she sees me there, and she's just really, I'm glad that, she can at least see me in this part of my life while she's alive. You know what I'm saying? At least she could see that.
That you're saying that stuff that's hitting home. I lost 2 sisters to cancer. One was 49 and one was 56, and I lost my dad. He got Alzheimer's when I was in, and I was lucky to get out and see him, but he was just starting to lose it. But I got my mother, who was 88, and and I actually moved back in with her, trying to take care of my mom, because she took care of me my whole life, and never ever gave up on me. Never liked the way I was or who the man I was, but never gave up on us. They always knew we had it in us. That mother's love. And I want to wish your mom a lot of luck, and keep fighting. And she got a good kid on her hand. She got a really good son. I don't know how many kids she has, but she's got a good one here, I know. And just knowing you and talking to you for a while, you could see what makes you tick. And what makes you tick is the things that I think when we get older. Now, when we're young, we don't think that. We fucking want to make the money, we want to fucking run the world, we're smarter than anybody. I tell young people, China, I said, when we're 20, we think we know it all. And then when you hit 30, you look back and go, what a fucking idiot I was at 20.
What a fucking
What-
idiot. This is a dumb motherfucker.
Listen, when you hit 40, who you are now, close, you're looking back and say, fuck, I was still stupid at 30. Don't worry, when you hit 50, you're going to look back and go, whatever the fuck am I ever going to learn? I'm hitting 60 saying, I'm still learning every day. And it's a great feeling. And it's a great feeling to make the people who are really close to you proud of you. And you don't even try it. They're proud of you because you're doing what's the right thing to do. And don't get me wrong, I have a bad streak in me. You know, I could get crazy. I come from that wild life. You know, I've been shot. I've been stabbed twice. I've been shot people. I was a bad guy. And I'm never proud of those days. But I've learned from them. People ask me all the time this, China. They say, do you regret anything? I said, you know, I don't regret anything in life. Your past makes you who you are today. Whatever it was makes you who you are today. Would you change things? Bill Gates said he changed things. Guy's the richest man in the world. He changed shit. Imagine that. Now, but does he regret things? No. You learn from them. You change from them. You stuff like that. So let's go on. So now you're going to Miami. You're gonna do something with entrepreneurs, or you're gonna do something with motivational speaking.
Yeah, I was booked by Gunby Productions for a speaking engagement on entrepreneurship, leadership, and business acumen. And you know, and everybody that's on that list to speak is former prisoners, right? You got Wallow. I don't know if you're familiar with Wallow. He's gonna be speaking at the engagement. A bunch of brothers, like, you know, solid brothers that been through the system and came home and used whatever tools they had to create a business for themselves. So that is that is the event on April 10th. And this is my first speaking engagement. I'm really hyped about it, you know, because we came from nothing, you know. When the gates opened from the prison, from Clinton Correctional Facility, when I came out, I had maybe like $7,000 in my pocket from what I've hustled in the yard, right? You know, I knew I was going home, so I was, you know, doing what I did to have some money in my pocket. So that money that I had in my pocket, I used to build my company. Immediately, I paid to open up my LLC, to copyright all of my stuff, to trademark my stuff, and that was the initial, you know, that was the start of it, right? But since then, you know, I didn't have anybody to really school me. I learned everything myself, trial and error, and it's a blessing that somebody would want me to speak at their event on these matters and on how I actually did it. And, you know, because I feel like I have a lot to offer when it comes to that, because, you know, we've been through it, and you as well, right? Like, so, you know, when we come out of prison, we come out with nothing, and we come out with even strikes against us. And a lot of us can't handle that pressure. You know, a lot of us can't let go of, you know, all of the stuff that we endured for however long we were in prison, right? And that really affects them. And that inability to let go causes them to be bitter and causes them to do whatever else, right? So either they go back to prison or they die from cancer, stress, because they just can't let go of all of the, you know, the fucked up shit that we've been through. And then you got brothers that can let go, and you got brothers that can let go and can move on and can use the stuff that they learned in prison, which is a school, right? If you can survive prison, you know, because prison, you got to be innovative like a motherfucker, right? Like they say you can't cook, we got to figure out a way to cook, right? They say you can't do this, they say you can't do that, you know, we got to figure things out. So, you know, if we can survive prison, then figuring things out and using our innovation to become successful shouldn't be that hard. You know what I'm saying? We just have to be keen enough to be able to, like, just shift what we learned into another area. You feel me? And I think that's a lot of us who figured it out. You too, right? You're definitely one of them, and I'm one of them, and there's a whole shitload of people that has figured it out, you know?
You know, what you said is so true, because obviously we had the talents. I call it the hustle talent, and it's you just got to take what you've learned on the streets. When you learn in prison, like you said, it's it's the biggest educational thing in the world when you do a lot of time too, and then you take that and you bring it all to the streets, and you have to maneuver that into a business. But you know what made me more impressed with you, and I tell this to a lot of young guys getting out. I said the hardest part is going to be when you're not making money, and you know how to make money the wrong way, is not going back. A lot of guys, I hire guys. I have a small staff, but I got guys jobs. I opened once a company for car. I actually bought a van, and I bought stuff for ex-cons to own their own business and be car washers, and I bonded them, and I wanted to see their hustle and the work ethic, because you don't want to put an ex-con behind a counter or some shit. He's gonna fucking go crazy. He needs that freedom. He needs that way to do things. So I started businesses for people, and I used to tell them, I said, listen, I want to wait to see how you are when you don't have money. Because it's so easy for me and you to go back into the hustle game and get back into crime and make money. I know that. I could rob a jewelry store. I was the biggest jewel robber in the country. I robbed 15, 18 million. And it was so easy for me. The FBI said I was the best that ever did it. And I'm still believe me, my brain thinks how that can be fucking hit. But you have to catch yourself when you have nothing. Nothing. You're struggling. And I've been there. You're putting a credit card, you're hustling, you're asking for a few dollars just to make it. When you don't go back and you don't go, then you've conquered the one thing that's going to hold you back, is that you want to make it in what you're doing, China, what you're doing. Now the entrepreneurship, selling merchandise, making your music, selling your music in the way you're selling it. Other ways, which we'll even help discuss. But I think it's really important that people know that it's hard for us guys who were successful criminals, if you want to call it that, to pull away from that. And that impresses me more than anything. Because I know you can make it. You have the hustle in you. It's fucking Jesus. It's like I fucking grew up in the streets. I was hustling at 12 fucking years old. I'm making fucking football tickets. I'm making money. I'm making $125 a week in 1972, 73. Fucking, making cash money, because I was a hustler. And it's easy to get back into that shit, but it's even so much more rewarding when you do it legit. And like you said, you got your LLC, you got your corporation, and someone said to me today, I was driving down, and they said, hey Larry, he goes, you're gonna get killed in taxes. I said, yeah. I said, but you know what? The more taxes you pay, you should smile, because that means you really had a good year. And they looked at it and they go, wow, I get it. I'm not saying try to get pay as least as you can, but right. What he's saying was,
it could be a lot worse, man.
Absolutely, China.
Listen, lawyer bills are real. Lawyer fees and fucking, all that shit costs a lot too. So I would, any day, I would rather pay my taxes than fucking lawyer fees.
That's the way they got Al Capone. That's what I always say. They got Al Capone. All right, China, you got a great story. I'm going to put links in here and stuff for your stuff, or whatever your stuff. We're gonna stay connected, and I hope when I come up, maybe I'll say I'll buy you lunch, or when you come down, I'll definitely buy you dinner or something. And there's a couple of guys here you'll meet, and they're great guys. And they can help people, and they love entrepreneurs. They love people who make it and have that hustle, and I think that's important as well. Anything else you'd like to say to my audience?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure a lot of people is gonna look at this and find value in whatever we said, and I hope so. Because I think when people ask me if I regret, whatever I went through and the prison stuff and all that, I honestly, I rarely think about the prison stuff. And I went through bullshit. I went through some shit that I look back and I'm like, damn, I don't even think about that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I feel
what do you mean? Like, I was tortured. I was actually strapped down naked.
Oh, it was
beaten, 4-pointed.
Wait, hold on. All right, explain. Say that.
I was strapped down naked, beaten. I was in the hole. Guard took his dick out, peed on my face, spit on me. I was in the hole at that stretch 11 straight months. I was in the hole for 3 years. I
didn't even know you were the person that Vlad brought up in the interview.
Yeah. That's actually I think Vlad. I think it was Vlad. Or that's how my son saw or heard about Vlad talking to you. I don't know how it exactly came about. Yeah. And so I had a rough ride in prison because I was fighting the system. You know, I didn't give a fuck. I fought the system. That's who I was. I fought the system. And I'm sure you had it as a young kid, went through a lot of rough times in prison.
Yeah,
Is there anything you know?
But just hearing that shit, like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, and honestly, for you to be able to get through that, because a lot of people, that shit would fuck them up forever. And I feel like, you know, I don't know, looking at you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how you're personal, but looking at you, I feel like you have gotten over it because you're able to speak about it in a way, right? So you've gotten over it. I don't feel like you've let that determine where the rest of your life is going to be, right? And I think that, you know, that's the most important shit, right? Like, we're gonna go through shit. Some of this shit is gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, you know, so like, and I've been through my own shit, you know what I mean? You know, and the key thing is, and it's easier said than done, but is to let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because the more we allow that shit to fester in us, the more it's gonna have you know, control over us, right? Because whatever happened to you during that incident, that was just 5 minutes of your life, maybe 10 minutes of your life. I don't know how long it lasted.
3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours of your life, right? 3 hours, the fuck. But 3 hours of your life, you know, could totally fuck up the rest of your life. Mentally, physically, everything, right? That 3 hours could definitely just, like, you know, you could have died from cancer, from all types of, just from stressing about it so much, just from being humiliated like that, you know what I'm saying? And for you to be able to let that go and not let that determine who you are, shit, man, like, that's big.
I won't lie, China. It took me many years before I said I wouldn't kill those motherfuckers. I mean, I laid in my, and you understand prison, I laid in my bunk and I was going crazy. They were pulling me out, and I've been concussion grenaded, I've been maced, I've been shocked. You know, the way they do it in the hole when they cell extractions and all that shit, and I went nuts. And it took me many years. I'd lay in my cell and I'd be plotting their murders. And it took me 5 years or more before I started seeing that, you know, how I look at it now. How fucked up is their life if they fucking gotta abuse a dude who's in the worst part of his life? They must be going home to a fucking bitch that's bitch slapping them, or fucking do whatever the hell's going on. Look, I'm getting excited because it gets me mad, because they must be having, I'm almost feel pity for them, because how sad is their life? How sad do they go home? How do you go home and say what you did to somebody to shut them up? How do you go home and say I pissed in a guy's face? Like, you think they're bad? They must have the worst lives in the world. And that's what made me start, like you said, getting the hate out of me. Getting that hate.
That shit just makes me upset just listening to it. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me upset listening to it. And whoever did, to all those officers, fuck you, right? Fuck you. Like, that shit just makes me upset. How could you even do that to another person? But, you know, but at the end of the day, man, you know, we didn't let that determine, you know.
You too, I'm right. Sure. And we'll do that another
shit
one.
Too, you know, and
you went through shit. I know. I'm sure you did at 19 right. In that place. I know the place. I guarantee you did. We're not talking about it right now. That's all right. If you ever want to, you can. And I know how. That's why I really, I like you say, fuck them. But I'm really proud of you. I hate that. I don't ever want to be condescending. Like, you know, because I'm no better. I tell young people to this day on my channel, I'm no smarter than you. The only thing I have over you is experience, period, at a place you don't want to go. I'm proud of you as a person and as a human being and as a
And I'm proud of you too,
artist.
brother. Just,
yeah.
I'm proud of you, man, because, you know, you could have went through that shit and
You
know?
too, and that's what's so important, and I think that's why I look at young people, certain people, and I could see success. It's really, it's amazing. It's not a complaint. It's not a, I never bitch. My buddy once said, he was a very successful man. He helped me when I got out, actually, and he said to me, Larry, the best thing, because I used to visit you in all the prisons all over the country when they were fucking with you. He goes, and you never complained. No matter what, you just never complained. You always want to know how things were with us and stuff. And I knew you'd make it. And I kind of like feel that with young people. Now, you've been out a while. You're just really hitting your prime, China. I mean, you're 30 now. You're fucking hitting your prime, which I'm glad to hear and see. And I'm always gonna be here for you. And as a fellow guy who's been through the shit and what we're doing and everything else, and I think that's important. And even doing it on your own, like I did it. Fuck them. Fuck these people who want a piece of your ass and then fuck you over it. They don't give a fuck about you. You doing it yourself, like I did it. And it's harder, but the rewards are better. And internally, it's like, fuck yeah, I did it. Fuck them. I know what I'm doing, and I think that's cool, man. I really do. Good man.
Yo,
but
thank you so much for having me, bro. And to all of the people watching, China Mac, my YouTube channel is China Mac TV. My Instagram is @ChinaMac. And yeah, man, I hope somebody was able to walk away with something from this. And I definitely appreciate you, and I look forward to, building with you in the future.
You got it. Thanks again, everybody. This is China Mac. All the links, everybody, are in below. Check his YouTube channel on. Check all his stuff out. Our links below as well. And this is what we do best. Make sure you listen to us. Don't do what we did. Listen to our advice and stuff like that. Make good choices, everybody. Life is a lot better that way. Have a great day, everybody. And see you soon.
Peace.